Hello, everyone. It is launch week, and my book, The Regulars of Amanda Lexie, is officially out. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I am planning to do so that you can look forward to them. Stay tuned because some of these things are going to apply to you as well, even if you're not local to me. I also just wanted to reflect a little bit on all of the things that have made this possible. Doors that opened that I couldn't have been prepared for. So this is kind of just an open thank you note to all of the people who have been involved, and I really appreciate everybody for doing that. So let me find a place to clip this, and I'll go from there. First, I want to actually tell you about this book because I'm not sure that I have done that yet, and even if I have, it's never a bad time to do it again. This is The Regulars of Amanda Lexie. This book follows a barista and a few criminals and a few law-abiding citizens, law-enforcing citizens, as they all get involved in the investigation of a singular set of cyber crimes. So if you have been part of the hype for different shows following hackers or Robin Hood type characters like Leverage, for example, if you like hackers and FBI shows and police shows, detective shows, but you also want something cozy, but you're a little bit tired of like how some cozy things are just too cozy, where you want a little bit more action, a little bit more drama, a little bit more intrigue, but you don't want the violence on the page, you don't want coarse language, you want to be a little bit scared, but like, you want a thriller. You want a thriller, but you also don't really want all of the intensity that sometimes comes with a thriller. This book is for you. This book follows Lucille, an FBI agent who loves white chocolate mochas, Olivia, a police officer who loves hot chocolate, extra, extra hot with a little bit of vanilla, George, a mob boss, Adam, a hacker, and Amanda, their favorite barista. As Lucille and Olivia are trying to stop the string of digital robberies that's happening, and George and Adam are trying to get away with them, Amanda gets caught in the middle in all sorts of really fun, twisty ways. This is a very short book. It's intentionally under 200 pages long. It's a very fast read. The chapters are very short. It's very, like, I literally designed this to be bingeable. I want you to take your afternoon, sit down, read the book, and go on with your life, right? That is my hope for this book. It is a cozy thriller. Yes, it is cozy. Yes, it is a thriller. It is not a mystery. You know who the bad guys are the whole time, which is why it's not a spoiler that I told you that George is a mob boss and Adam is a hacker. You know that from chapter 2, okay? It's a thriller. You know who the bad guys are, and you want to see them succeed. You also maybe want to see them fail. That's okay. I don't judge. I'm here rooting for villains all the time. So, that's this book. It is out now. The best place to buy it right now is Barnes & Noble or bookshop.org. Tattered cover, the Aspen Grove location, if you're local to me in Colorado, has some signed copies. Otherwise, you can order from places like Amazon. It's just going to take a little bit longer to get there because we're having some issues where people didn't order enough copies. I took some people by surprise by how well this book is being received. And that's a great thing. I'm very blessed by that. I'm very excited about that, and that couldn't happen with some of the open doors that I want to tell you about now. So I'm going to put this book back behind me on my shelf, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that have gone really well and some of the most exciting parts about this launch, because I'm here to share the experience as much as I am to, just tell you about my book. Okay, first, so many doors opened from the time that I signed my contract in April to now when I'm releasing this book. Yes, that is an incredibly fast amount of time. No, I do not recommend that anybody else do that. That was a crazy turnaround schedule. I had a very weird route into publishing. Most book publishing is not this way. Is this book indie? No, I have a publisher. It was not independently published. I have a publisher. It is in global wide distribution, so any bookstore you walk into should be able to order copies of this book for you. So even if they don't have it on their shelf and even if they don't have it online, they should be able to order copies. I'm going to put a QR code on the screen right here with a link to more information about the book, just in case you need that if you're going to any library or bookstore and you want them to get a copy and they say, oh, well, we need like the ISBN number. Anyway, Things that went really well that surprised me, but that I wasn't even trying for. Every year, you've seen the videos, I go to a conference called the American Library Association Annual Conference. This year, while preparing for this conference, one of the authors that was going to go backed out. For one reason or another, she decided she couldn't make it this year, and that left us with an open signing spot. And so I asked my boss and I said, "Hi, I have my book coming. One, can we get copies printed? And two, can I have that signing spot if nobody else has filled it? Like, if you filled it, no problem. By all means, let's go with them. But if we still just have an open spot and we would like to fill it because we're going to be there and we want to get books out, and I would love to get my books out if it's even going to be ready. I don't want to stress about this, but like, if it's an option, can we?" And my boss, very very lovingly said, "Yeah, let's order the books. Let's do that." Because she had not filled the spot. So there was an opening that wasn't originally going to be there. And I got to have an insane first book signing at the American Library Association annual conference. Now, the thing that's weird about those signings is that I was giving away advanced reader copies. So they were early release copies, like pre-release copies. And second of all, I was giving them away. So a bunch of people who love books were all gathered in one spot, and I got to just give them copies of my book, which meant that the sales pitch was just, "Do you like coffee? Do you like mysteries? Would you like this book?" And because I didn't have to ask them for any money and I was just able to sign copies and hand them out, it was a very easy yes. We'll put it that way. So that was a crazy first signing. It's wonderful and it's exciting. And I don't know that I will ever have a book signing like that again, but I will try for every signing after to outperform that one, which means that I am going to need at least 40 people in a 30-minute time frame to outperform that one. Second crazy thing that happened, and this was one of my target goals. Every year, I also go to a writers' conference in Indiana. At that writers' conference, I've been going for the last 5 years. People there know me. And every year, I have not had a book. And I desperately wanted this year to have a book that I could bring with me, that I could sell in the store, that I could hold up as an example, that people could see. And I was very pleased, very excited to do that. And thankfully, amazingly, we did get finished copies in time for me to do that. It was very lovely and very fun. We didn't actually get any photos of me signing because that happened very haphazard, ta-da, sign books now. But it was really fun altogether, all the same, and I'm really glad I got to have my books for that event. That is another thing that went really well, is I had two big traffic events lined up before the book was even out, where I got to get some advance interest. Another thing that happened is my book was reviewed in a magazine. I knew that this was going to happen, kind of, because I work with this magazine all the time, but we managed to hit the deadline for the submission, first of all, and second of all, they managed to have space in the magazine for my book, which means that if you flip to page 50 in this edition of Forward Reviews magazine, you'll see my book. That's really fun. And the fun thing about Forward Reviews magazine is that they only review books from independently published authors or independent publishers. So if you are an indie author and you're looking for a place to get your book into more library visibility or bookstore visibility, this is a really good resource for you. That was in the July-August issue. So in the month that my book is releasing, my book got featured in that magazine. Plus, we got a little bit of pre-release visibility because of the July element of that, which is super cool. Third, also because of this connection to Forward, I got to send my book to the Frankfurt Book Festival, so that will be happening in October. My book is going to Germany. I will not be, but my book will be. And if you're attending that conference, I would love it if you could go to the Independent Book Publishers Association booth and take some pictures of my book on the shelf and send me those photos. Tag me online. My handle is at author JJ Hanna. I would love it if you would post those and say "spotted in the wild" or hey JJ, look what I found. That'd be super cool. But that conference is happening later this year, and because of this connection to Forward and because of this review, I got the opportunity to be part of the display that is going to that conference. That's one of the biggest book festivals in the entire world. So things that I could never have anticipated in terms of doors being open and people saying yes, and printing availability and availability on the printing press is one of the biggest things that I was hoping for and fingers crossed for and am excited about. Very soon here, I will have a restock of my supply. As you can tell, I only have like 4 total copies of my book on my shelf. That is all of the copies of my book that I currently have. 3 of those are going to the Goodreads giveaway that ended today as I'm filming this. So if you won, congratulations. And if you didn't, better luck next time. Stay tuned. There will be more Goodreads giveaways. So stay tuned for that. The last of these copies is an advanced reader copy. That was the very first copy ever printed. So you know that is staying in my house forever. Or it will eventually become a collector's edition or a collector's item. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, that's like dreaming way big, right? But these are all things that happen behind the scenes in publishing that a lot of authors don't even get to know about, right? Whether their book goes to ALA with or without them. One of my other author friends, actually, this author, Caroline George, I found an early copy of one of her other books at ALA a couple years ago when I was there, and she was like, "Where are you? This book is pre-release. It's not supposed to be printed yet." And I said, "Oh, this is like the biggest pre-release conference ever. Don't worry, fear not. It's not like out there in crazy places yet. It's like this is for libraries to find books." And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's better." But yeah, like she had no idea that her book was there. And I was very excited to be able to be part of that for my book. One of my other friends at that conference, this author, Alyssa, looked at me after her signing and she said, "That was insane." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "That is as many books as I would sell at Comic-Con in a whole weekend in 30 minutes. I'm going to let that sink in. She went through the number of books that she would sell at Comic-Con in an entire weekend in one 30-minute time slot of a signing at ALA. That's how crazy this conference is, right? So the fact that I got to be there, that I got to have my book involved in that this year on its launch year, pre-release, that now on launch day I got to have my book in tattered cover because they have a program where you can be a local author and can sign books. So I got to have my book in a bookstore on launch day, right? That is crazy. It's insane. And so many doors have opened that I could never have prepared for. And a lot of that actually comes down to the support that I have, right? I've been very, very blessed to have people who have been interested in my work, interested in my writing, interested in my books and the stories that I'm telling prior to me ever being a published author. Prior to this book, long before this book was even an idea in my head on my blog, there were people here on YouTube following me, and I am still wrapping my mind around that I have people who have been here from the very beginning. Same thing with the people on my Instagram and the people on my Facebook. Like, there are people who have been here since I started my very first writing career, and that is amazing. And I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't. Your support has opened doors, your support has created opportunities, and now your support will help solidify things. So I will be soon having a few things to say thank you to you. One, stay tuned because I will be having a live stream. It will be scheduled, so stay tuned. Watch those notifications because I'll be having a live stream event party where I'll be answering questions from you, some of the most frequently asked questions I've received about this book and about the writing process, and I hope that you can come. That is a celebration for us together here on YouTube. So please come to that. And if not, please watch it afterward. I would love it if you could celebrate with me. You're invited. This is your official invitation. You are invited to celebrate with me because this is a big accomplishment and I couldn't be here without you. Second, if you're local to me, I will be having a launch party. Again, I don't have dates yet because I'm waiting for my shipment of books to come in. Once I have my shipment of books, you better bet I'll be putting together something, right? You know I'm going to celebrate. You know I'm going to invite people, hopefully at a coffee shop. But I'm waiting on my shipment of books to come in because, as previously stated, this is all I have left. And I need more of that before I have an event with a whole bunch of friends, family, strangers who may want a copy. Third, I am going to be trying to line up signings in bookstores and other events across Colorado. So if you have a bookstore that you would like to have me visit, please tag them down below or just send me to their website, I would love to connect with those bookstores to set up something, whether that's a signing or an afternoon or an author talk. Like, I want to be available to people. I want to be part of panels. I want to discuss things. I want all of that. So I'm going to try to make that happen. I have my list already, but I would love to add to it as things go on. So if you are a bookstore owner or you are a bookstore aficionado, please let me know. And I will happily see about getting my book at the very least in stores. And if I can do a signing, I'm going to try to. It might not be immediately, but I'm certainly going to try. What's next? Oh, one more open door, and this is where the challenge comes in for all of you. I was talking with a literary agent, and this agent said that she can help me hope for film representation if I get 1,000 Amazon reviews. But in order for that to happen, the book actually has to like get out to readers, and it has to reach people who will review it. So if you read it, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a review. Even something that's as simple as, I really liked this book, or wow, that was really funny. Haha, who knew? Wow, Amanda was my favorite character, right? Like, any of those things can really help somebody else take a chance on a book that they don't know. And I would love to get most of those reviews on Amazon. I know you hear this from authors all the time, but it really, really, really helps our career if you leave reviews on the books you love. So that's all I'm asking, is that if you like this book, if you read this book and you like it, please just tell people that you read it and that you liked it. That can be online, that can be in an Instagram post, that can be preferably somewhere where reviews are sorted, like Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Goodreads or the Storygraph or BookBub. Like, there's so many places that you can easily type a quick little 1-sentence, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, whatever, be honest, rating, and we'll go from there. So keep your eye out. And if you have read this book, I would really, really appreciate it. That is my challenge. Help me hit that 1,000 review threshold, which is a crazy number of reviews. There are a lot of books that I've seen published that have been out for 5 years and don't hit anywhere close to that. So my goals are really big, and it would really help me achieve them if you band together with me and help make this a thing. I may as well put it out there that this is what I'm aiming for and what I'm trying for, and see who wants to help me make that a reality. Okay. Lastly, big final hurrah for this video. I want to put together a little puzzle for you that relates to this book. Now, you'll only be able to solve this puzzle if you have a physical copy. You can get a physical copy from your library. Highly recommend getting it that way if you can't afford to buy one, which is totally fine. I get it. Share a copy with your friend. I get it. Share a copy among your family. I get it, right? Do whatever it takes, but I am going to make a cipher. If you have been around here, you know I like spy, thriller, crime stuff. Obviously, I wrote a book with a lot of crime stuff in it. I'm going to make what is known as a book cipher. This is a cipher that became really popular during one of the world wars, and essentially, we all get the same edition of a book. We all flip to the same page number, and we count lines and we count words, and then I give you a message. I will be posting this cipher on my Instagram and on my blog. If you solve it, I would love to send you a signed book plate. Book plates go into the book. Book plates, once signed, go into the book like this. This is a sticker. This makes it a signed edition. I am happy to send you one of those so that your copy can be signed, but you have to solve the cipher. Stay tuned and keep your eye out, because that cipher will be going up relatively soon. So, okay, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Out now. Go get it wherever books are sold, literally everywhere. That means Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Tattered Cover. Everywhere that you can buy a book, you can get this book. And if you can't find it on a shelf, talk to a person, because they can probably order it for you, including at libraries. Okay, until next time, thank you, and I'll see you then.